So, in an unprecedented move, we decided to watch this week's Zoey tonight instead of waiting for Tuesday next week because WandaVision drops tomorrow and Fridays and Saturdays are our designated kind of movie nights because we've got more time to play with. So we decided to make Tuesday WandaVision. It's Teeny Tuesday.
Yep. So Zoey without a teeny. Now, is WandaVision going to be half hour or an hour? Because it's called a sitcom.
No, it's got to be an hour. Yeah? Hang on. Hold that thought. Let's see. It's an upcoming American television miniseries.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I thought it was like a straight up series. Unknown how long the episodes will be. It's scheduled to premiere with its first two episodes on January 15th and will run for 9 episodes until March 5th.
Wow.
It will be the first series in Phase 4 of the MCU. The cast were widely praised, with the series generally considered enjoyable and different from past MCU content, though potentially unforgiving for new MCU viewers.
Weird.
Yeah, my dad saw a commercial for it the other day, and he's like, what is this? I'm like, it's MCU. And he's like, oh, so... I'm like, if you haven't gone down that hole, you're not going to want to watch the show.
Right, yeah. It's going to be real weird.
It looks like it's going to be real weird anyway, but I'm excited. But enough about Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Zoey.
Assessment?
So, it was weird. It started off, like, real awkward and cringy, and I was like, oh, not sure about this.
Yeah.
But it found its footing, and it's going back to basics, as it were.
Yeah, it felt kind of empty. Like, what really just happened in that episode other than that one thing? But at the same time, it's kind of nice to have an episode that's not super plot driven. It's just the characters bouncing off each other a bit, which is not unwelcome.
Yeah. And, you know, us having lived our lives the way we have, I don't think we can really relate to certain aspects of this episode.
Yes and no. I mean, we had our first time.
Yeah, but that was on our wedding night. There weren't going to be any distractions.
Sure, okay.
You know,
there's its share of awkwardness, like, what do we do? You know.
I don't remember it like that.
No?
I knew pretty clearly what we were supposed to do.
That's not what I meant. I meant, like, you know, you get into the room, you're just like, okay, we both know what's about to happen, but, like, make a move, grab the champagne, like, you know, I don't know.
It was so long ago. Anyway.
And we've done it since then.
Multiple times. At least 3.
At least 3. Count them. Anyway.
So, the episode starts and, you know, where the last episode ended, Zoey and Max are making out and...
Right.
Sexy times. Lol, Giraffe is staring at Max. The stuffed giraffe. And oh boy, she keeps talking. And I kept waiting for him to be like...
Is everything okay? Like,
yeah.
It seemed like she was stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
Like... oh, this is so nice. Like she was going to delve into a big conversation. He was kind of.
Well, I thought he was going to get offended by I just needed this distraction. And it's,
Sure.
Like.
It was kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, am I just, am I taking you away from something right now?
Well, yeah, from her grief. Like, that's not a good way to start a sexual relationship.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, and she even said that, and he was like, yes, let's continue not thinking about that.
Yeah. So, he said, wow, it's like they're teenagers. Oh, and Max made that joke.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
The mom came in with snacks, and they kind of awkwardly sat up, and it was like, ha, and then she goes, how do you feel? He's like I'm in junior high? I was like, oh, okay.
Junior high, though?
Ugh.
That's middle school.
Is that what I thought he said junior high. Now I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, he did.
Our world is a fucked up place. Anyway.
I mean, technically, Hannah's only got two and a half school years left until she's technically junior high.
Why?
I'm not worried about her.
No, neither am I. I'm just really uncomfortable now.
Anyway. So the next morning, they decide to put a pin in it, as it were. Next morning, Zoe goes down, and she sees that her mom is still looking up PSP stuff. What did we decide PSP was? Like Parkinson's or...
Yeah, I can't remember.
Whatever her dad had.
It was, in reference to the disease, so her mom still goes to those forums and looks up how things are going with research into it and looks up forums, people asking advice. She still does that. She's like, I can't turn it off. I've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah. Year and a half. Then David and Emily come over with the baby, and Maggie asks Emily, well, isn't your sister Jenna supposed to be in town? And you get the impression that her sister Jenna is
bit of a wild child.
Bit of a flake.
Yeah. She was like, she was supposed to be here by now, but
she had a squirrel. She had on the way to the airport, and then she had to take the squirrel to the veterinary's office, and it was just,
It's really funny because you just showed me that commercial about a squirrel movie. It was that one.
Sidebar. We could totally watch that with the girls.
Yeah, we could.
So Jenna shows up, and Emily starts singing, Poison! Poison!
Never trust a big bite smile, that girl is
poison.
I really liked, so she's doing this musical interlude, and I make the note there that, Jenna is still doing the background acting, chatting up the room and everything well, but you don't hear anything. All you hear is Emily dancing around the room and singing Poison, clearly saying, my sister is trouble and makes issues wherever she goes. That's what the song's about. But there's that one moment where she lies down, and then Maggie hands Jenna something, and Emily just looks at her and goes, wrong move, you're dead. That girl is poison. It was just like, nice. Like, again, the way they use the lyrics to move the scene along is beautiful.
We cut to Max and Mo talking about the restaurant that they're collaborating on, and Max gives her just a basic free online contract, and she freaks out. Because we later figured out that when the other characters refer to Mo, they say he.
Yeah.
Which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about that while we were getting a drink. I was like, surprised they use gendered language at all, to be honest.
Well, because it's all about what the person wants.
Right.
Mo strikes me as more of an Eddie Izzard type, who apparently is now using they and them and their, just totally against
What?
proper grammar. You're talking about more than one person. Oh, that's a hole I could put down. Anyway. For another time. So you ask, does Max know Mo's a dude? Yes.
Yes. For a minute, I was like, I thought maybe Mo was freaking out about signing his real name, because
Oh, okay.
might be a male name, might make Max feel weird. I thought maybe that's
No,
what they were
Max
going
is
with
a
that.
millennial. He doesn't give a shit.
True. Yeah,
He's woke.
He's
It's fine.
totes woke.
Anyway.
Bro/sis.
Or something. So in the meantime, we've got Maggie running interference for Emily and Jenna. Which I thought was kind of a nice little side story.
Yeah.
Maggie is struggling with, what do I do now? And she just falls very naturally into helping Emily and Jenna, and I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Emily is trying to get a nap while Miles is taking a nap, the baby. And Jenna's like trying to talk to her, and Emily's like, this is really my only time
really
to...
want to sleep.
So Maggie pulls her away and is like, hey, let me show you these flowers, you know.
There are other flowers. And she knows exactly what to say to get Jenna's attention, and I thought that was cool. And going back to Zoey, going back to work, or she's, the boss now, and Simon comes in. He's like, hey, boss. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm your boss now. And I realized that I don't think she's told him that she's with Max now.
Mm-mm. No, I mean, not much time has passed.
No, it didn't come up at all in this episode, which in hindsight, that's very interesting. It's like, so that's something that's gonna potentially become an issue. But seeing as how Zoe is technically Simon's boss now, I mean, I think, that
would be inappropriate.
Yeah. However, Leaf and Joan had a thing.
True. It was inappropriate.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
Keep an eye out for that potential storm. But yeah, she's like, I'm your boss now. She's like, I'm going to ride you. And, I didn't.
I didn't mean to say that.
That didn't come out. Okay. He's like, well, if you've seen social media, our Spark watch is blowing up. And she's like, oh, that's good. And he's like, no, they're literally blowing up. Basically, they're overheating, and
yeah.
She's like, is it a smear campaign? He's like, nope.
Yeah, the viral video, the smear campaign, that was my question, because a viral video came out, and it shows a guy like, my watch, it's burning me! And he, name drops the exact model number and everything like that.
Yeah, that was kind of spot on, but...
And I think it was just a joke. She was like, well, it's not necessarily ours, they don't know. And then he says that, so it was a little bit of humor, a little unrealistic, but it made me wonder, okay, is this just somebody attacking their product? But
right.
It turns out no, it's really a thing that's happening to their product.
Yeah. So, they're having a meeting, and the actual head of Spark Point, who
Danny
is
Michael
Davis or something like that, he is under house arrest, and he can't technically be running the company, but, he comes in, he has this thing, PR, what are we going to do about this? Simon has a good idea, so he is promoted to head of PR.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And Tobin had an idea to run a smear campaign. He was like, get out.
Yeah. Because I know Tobin's probably going to have his moment, but right now it's like, fuck you, Tobin.
Yeah.
You're being a frat boy jackass. Just stop with the bullying and...
It felt like he's regressed a bit. He made some good progress in the first season, and he's gone back to just broski.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Mm-hmm. But, so they're all trying to figure out this issue with the watch.
Because an update went out the same day that the issue arose. They're like, is it related to the issue? Or is it related to the update? We don't know. It could be hardware. It could be apps. Could be any... Leaf is kind of... being flaky about it.
So they're trying to figure it out. And Zoey bails to bang.
Yeah, she's just kind of...
Gotta go!
She was supposed to hopefully get out the office early because she has a date with Max set up, and they're planning on doing it afterwards. So doing it. So, and then she has to keep putting it off because there's this issue. So finally at 9 o'clock or around 9 o'clock, she's like, "All right, I'm leaving now. You guys got this. Bye."
She gets in the elevator with 3 chicks from the 5th floor, programmers or coders or whatever, and there was a weird vibe in the elevator.
Yeah.
But she like, it's like, you know, it's kind of starting to like, oh, you know, we're all girls and da-da-da. And gets to her floor and she's like, all right, gotta go, sex.
It's like, as women, we need to support each other and build each other up, and then the door opens, just like, gotta go, sex.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's not that good. I'm not talking about you. I'm trying to remind myself that it's not all about sex. Anyway, so, you know, Zoey and Max are on this awkward date in her apartment, and...
Yeah, she's finally back at the apartment, which she hasn't been in months.
It smells weird, and it's really cold, and there's something dead in her microwave. That's cool. That's cool.
I mean, hopefully most animals are dead once they're in the microwave.
Yeah,
so.
But why would there be a dead animal in her microwave? Vagrant? Anyway, then they hear opera music from Moe's place.
Right.
Like, okay, that's not good. So Zoey goes over, and she hears a heart song from Mo, which is Way Too Good at Goodbyes. And Mo is being real standoffish, real like, you know, bye, go, get out of here, whatever. I'm just like, okay. She goes back to work the next day, not having bank because the opera music, and then she's like, well, you know, I'll try to, you know, figure out what's going on, and then I'm going to rent a cabin far, far away where nobody can find us. She goes to work, and she's texting Mo, like, you know, makeovers, and she's like, oh, I've been wanting, or he's been like, oh, I've been wanting to do a makeover on you for
forever.
Forever.
I'm afraid to ask because I didn't want to offend you.
And she's just like,
well, hey.
Then she hears Leaf's song, Bad Bad Thing. Great choreography.
Really cool musical number. I really liked it a lot. I did a bad thing.
In the meantime, Simon had asked her, you know, so what's the timeline on getting this fixed? And she's like, oh, you know, be a pretty quick turnaround. We're close. And then she hears the song, and she's like,
maybe not.
Maybe not. So she calls Leaf into her office, and she's like, do you feel guilty about anything? Something really bad. And it works.
It actually worked.
He straight up admits that he was the one that caused the issue. He put too much on himself because none of the rest of the team would listen to him. They were doing their frat boy thing, and he couldn't get them to focus. He couldn't get them to do anything. Oh my gosh, it's like having kids. Focus! And, so he caused the issue, and you noted classic top tech engineer being made a manager.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing because Leaf was the best programmer, right? He was used to being the best one. They made him a manager, but he has this habit built in where he's used to it falling down on him, and he's probably not very good at delegating because he doesn't trust anyone else to be as good as he is.
Well, it didn't help that nobody else was taking him seriously either.
No, but again, I don't know how hard he was trying. Like, I've seen it in the tech world where if you're that guy, you're really bad at delegating and you get way over your head because you can't let anyone else do any of the work.
Well, even, when I was doing PI work, and there was a lot of just menial tasks that go into that. Even down to like just mail stuff, sending out mail. And I was always supposed to delegate that kind of thing. And I had a really hard time doing that because I just didn't trust. I mean, Gruber I should have trusted more because say what you will about working there, it's definitely, at least at the time when I was working there, was pretty toxic, but your support staff was pretty well had the fear of God in them. But at McGillis Weimer, I didn't trust the people who were supposed to do my stuff because it was a small office, and so yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So glad I'm not in there anymore. But, so we cut to Zoey and Mo's makeover scene. Mo has a problem with partnerships. And then Mo realizes that Zoey basically set the whole thing up to try to figure out what's going on, and he got pissed at her, told her to leave.
You have broken the sanctity of makeover night.
I don't care if you look like Rafiki. Get out.
I don't care if you look like Rafiki.
So, Zoey basically, it's like, okay, we're going to fix this. She takes Max over to Mo's apartment and, with the trust exercises binder from Spark Point, and she's like, you guys figure this out. I will let you make me over head to toe. I will not say a word. Mo's like, can I burn your sweaters? Max is like, yes. And
she's like, no.
Like, what?
Max, what? So,
Mo finally, during this whole thing, Max drops that, in his 31 years of life, he has never heard his father tell him that he was proud of him.
No. Oh, we're going there.
Yeah. So, Mo finally opens up. He betrayed his best friend, Zora, over a jeans company. Turns out he's a bit of a control freak when it comes to that kind of thing. Like, he is not going to let anyone stand in his way, and he's too good at saying goodbye. And he's like, I don't want to push another friend away. Zora is a guy, by the way. He was my best friend since middle school, and I haven't talked to him in 6 years because of this. And Max basically says, look, that's something that you need to deal with. But, I'm not going to let that happen this time around. And if you try to do that, I've got a feisty, redheaded neighbor of yours that will come over and release fury on you. And Mo was like, all right. And then Max gets an SOS text from Zoey. I gotta go. So he goes over to Zoey's mom's house. And Zoey's there, and they have the house to themselves. Zoey made a towel swan. She got everything set up all nice. So they start, getting ready, and it's still really awkward. And he had said that he went to very open-minded therapist to get the heart song thing under control. So they start getting intimate, and Max starts singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." You say that had better not pop into my head next time. So there's this great scene. It's awkward but really enjoyable to watch, where he keeps switching between "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and kind of like a sort of monotone, not monotone per se, but like kind of a robotic sort of like, I'm trying to be in control of my emotions. Then he breaks into
Heart.
And what was the song though? I'll make love to you like you want me to. That one. And then he's like, well, it's not fair, because she's like,
I'm feeling it.
It's fine. And he's like, but it's, you know everything that's going on in my head, but I don't know what's going on in your head. So she, tells him what she's thinking. And then he starts singing, and she starts singing along with him. And he's like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I know this song. I'm duetting. I know this song. And it's a moment like this. Kelly Clarkson, what she's saying for the American Idol finale. And it was really pretty damn cute.
It honestly was. But it did, it broke the not the fourth wall. I don't know. It broke immersion for me a bit, because I'm trying to figure out the logistics of what's actually happening. Like, he's starting to kiss her, but then he stops kissing her to sing, and she's getting frustrated by it. But, like, why did he stop kissing her in reality? He's not actually singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I kind of wanted a little insight into how that works.
Sure.
I want a bird's eye view, I guess, of what's happening when she's singing these musical numbers. Because, he'd be making out with her and then suddenly stop to sing. But, like, was he actually stopping kissing her just randomly?
I don't know.
The logistics of
it. Continuity thing or a logistics thing, yeah, that's kind of weird, and I hope that's something that they can kind of delve into.
I'd be interested.
So the next morning, David and Emily are over. Jenna's there. So Jenna and Maggie watched the baby overnight, and Maggie was there because she said she had to, basically pry Jenna's eyes open at 3 a.m. when Miles woke up, but, she got there and she took care of Miles' feeding and everything. So I thought that was really interesting. Like, they were both there, and instead of just doing it herself, Maggie forced Jenna to do it.
Delegating.
And she said, because David and Emily were like, well, we know that you were behind the whole date night thing, because they had a date night and they got to sleep the whole night, and it was so nice, and like, we know you were behind it and behind that idea. And she's like, well, yeah, I led her there, but and I did have to kind of force her awake, but she was like, basically it just felt good to help.
Mm-hmm.
But then Emily said something interesting. She was like, with Jenna, you gotta be careful. Like, she can be fun, like, wild child, whatever, but you're on top of the world with her, and then she does something and you're left cleaning up the mess. Which makes me wonder what direction they might go with that, if they go in any direction with that. It just seemed kind of like a big thing to drop.
Right. After kind of Jenna was actually helpful and did something right. And it's like you just kind of go back and cut the character down a bit while she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And then not go back to it. It's kind of...
Yeah, so I wonder if there's going to be a story there. Because, Maggie was saying, it just feels good to help and, whatever. So Zoe and Max come down and they're like, ah! And somebody says something about, oh, yeah, Max was like, oh, yeah, guys are the worst, like, frat boy attitude. And Zoe's like, I'm gonna go do something at work. Gotta fix a problem. And so she leaves, and David's like, if she were my sister, I would have you right now. Mm-hmm. Lol.
But seriously, don't hurt her.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So then at work, basically, Zoe's idea was to bring those 3 girls that she was in the elevator with down from the 5th floor to the 4th floor and transfer 3 of the 4th floor guys up to the 5th floor, but she had Leaf announce it, and, she's like, you're the manager now, and Tobin's like, oh, no.
Not those guys, we're called the Brogrammers, blah, blah, blah. It's like, not anymore.
Yeah. And the one, Cass, I think her name was? Or...
Oh, gosh, I didn't catch names.
Okay, so the kind of main girl, the one that had the dialogue with the short black hair.
The one that looked like the green-haired chick from...
Oh, yeah. She kind of did look like her a little bit.
A little bit.
I thought she looked like that Joey King, that girl. She was in... she's still really young, like, too young to be playing this character, but she's in that Kissing Booth. She was in New Girl as the mean student that had the science fair project.
Oh, wow.
She played Gypsy Rose Blanchard in that movie that came out recently.
Okay.
The
No, I know.
Yeah. So anyway, I kind of thought she looked like her, but it's not her. Anyway, so they're gender switching, and that girl, she was like, she made a joke, like, because they've been doing, like, the guys have been doing these, like, games, competitions, whatever, and one of them was, like,
Nut punch,
and she's like, I'm pretty good at nut punch, and the guys are just like, so, yeah. And then we go back to Max and Mo. Mo signs a contract. Zoe comes out just looking like a drag queen. I'm just going to say it.
Half drag queen, half just full-on 80s with, like, a perm kind of a deal.
Yeah, perm and neon makeup and, like, this glittery...
one half-shoulder thing.
Top, like, so not her. So I thought it was a really cute way to end the episode.
Max is like, is it weird that I kind of like this look? She's like, yes.
Yeah. So the start of the episode was a little rocky for me, but by the end I was feeling it. Like, okay, we're setting some stuff up, or we've got good footing, so it was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable.
And that's all I got.
Yeah, I think I'm good.